Hey everyone, it's Kai from WCC, and today we'll be looking at the WGP 2019 finals for Standard. On the left, we've got Shota Aiba playing Tachikaze from Japan. And on the right, we've got Yoshifumi Nozawa playing Narukami, also from Japan. So we do have their deck list up. We've got them on the WCC website. We don't have everyone's deck list though, so if you find out more info, let us know and we can update that. We do have the Tachikaze list here. It's pretty standard. Nothing much to say. He's only running 3 Savage Trooper and he's running 2 Bomb Raptors, so that could be interesting. But otherwise, it's a very standard list. 8 draw for crit. And the Narukami player is playing the new Narukami deck, which is making waves. But not really waves, I guess, because they're Narukami. He's got some interesting stuff, I guess. He's running 1 Death Scythe. It's kind of useful in the Narukami mirrors. He's only running 2 Voltec Shreds. And he's only running 3 Vijans. Normally people run 4-4, but he's opted not to. He's only running 11 grade 1s. Having more grade 2s means that he's able to just make better lines against other 12k Vanguards. And yeah, that's about it. He's running 5 crit, 7 draw. A bit weird, I guess. It's like usually people run 4 crit, 8 draw, or 6-6. So I guess the 5 crit kind of randomly kill people like in top 4 when people don't use their brain much. But yeah, that's about it. So let's start off. I'll be stopping at times during this game to talk about stuff, important plays. So if you don't want to stop and watch important plays, just want to watch the normal stream, just go to the Japanese Vanguard channel and you can watch that 8-hour stream there. But here we're going to come onto a very important part of this match, and that is determining who goes first. I'm going to be doing rock, paper, scissors. Now, I don't think I need to tell you, going first in Standard is very, very strong. But especially for Tachikaze, if they go first and they high roll, you are dead. There is nothing you can do. So if Tachikaze goes first here, they're able to go first. Then second game, they'll go second. And then the last game, if it reaches the third game, this is a best of 3. That means they get to go first, so they can just kind of high roll and kill you. So if Tachikaze goes first now, that means they're more likely going to win unless they brick really hard. So let's take a quick look at what happens. We're slowing it down a bit as well. So doing the Junkan, I don't think this is the confirmed one. Usually you throw like a rock first in Japan Junkan and then go back and then you throw a real one. So they're throwing the random barrage, the confirmation barrage. It's like you know, air fist pump, I guess. But now they're gonna go back, and this is what we want to go. All right, so they've gone back and they're about to do their combo. All right, do their first barrage. Now Yoshifumi is his hand is like his fist has gone down, and you're gonna see he's gonna do a very limp rock coming out. Well, if you look closely at Shota's hand, he's already started moving his hand out. If you look at his picture, he's kind of expanded his hand, showing that he's probably not going to stay rock. And here he's gone, you can see the hand's already extended, right? Before it came out, all the way out there, his hand was already extended. But the problem with Yoshifumi's rock is that he did a rock to the ground really quickly and then didn't extend his hand much, and he didn't raise it high enough. So he's stuck on rock. He's stuck on confirmed rock. If he had that foresight, I guess, to see that his opponent was slightly extending his hand, he could have changed his rock to either a paper to like at least tie it for another round, or go for a scissors and confirm his win. But unfortunately, he didn't. He was committed to rock, and the paper destroyed him. And now Tachikaze will likely just destroy him as well. So pretty unlucky. Well, I guess rock paper scissors is not really a luck based game. It's entirely skill. So pretty important for the Tachikaze player to play a totally skilled game right there to determine the next part of the skill-based game. Otherwise, if you want to do true random, just use or better randomization, use dice. But if you're Tachikaze, maybe you don't want to use dice. You want to play rock paper scissors. So I think both kept 3, which is bad times for Yoshifumi, because that means Tachikaze probably doesn't have their grade 3 in his hand. So he's about to get smoked. Okay, he's about to get smoked. Starts speeding up a bit. He rides Savage Trooper, nothing special. Yoshifumi is going to... How does Yoshifumi commit to the field? He rides a Mighty Bolt Dragoon, misses, which is bad, because that means he doesn't filter his deck for triggers. And then he's likely not going to commit. Yep, doesn't commit, just attacks. Gets a draw trigger, nice. Kills off his opponent's crit trigger, which is also nice. And then now, Rise of Mega Rex. And then he commits a super... Okay. So he commits a Super Acro Cancer and a Smiley Turbodon. That's what it's called. These dinosaur names. Okay, so a lot of people say Narukami is the counter to Tachikaze, and they're kind of half correct and half wrong. It doesn't matter if Tachikaze goes first, it just doesn't matter. Especially the new Narukami, they don't run Gauntlet Buster Dragon, so there's not that card that can destroy them. There's only one card in Narukami's deck that can touch Super Acro Canto now, and that is Cho-O. So if you're Tachikaze, your game plan is to win when you ride grade 3. So as long as your hand is half decent, you can just easily still commit a 2 to push a lot of damage in. And then if your opponent doesn't even draw the Cho-O, that's even that's better for you, right? Just one more. The only card that will be left on this field is the Super Acro Canto. So like the Smiley Turbodon is just going to get retired for a draw, and gets the Xandophon there. And then this one is hitting for 24, right? So your opponent will only guard this if he has a heal. Otherwise, he has to commit 2 cards, which is really good for you if he guards it, but he doesn't. He just takes it, goes to 2. That's a pretty good position for Shota, because 2 is a nice kill, like high chance of killing for him as a Tachikaze player. But we can see justice is served. Yoshifumi does ride a Cho and is able to kill the Super Acro Canto and bind it. Get rid of that really important card for him. And then Yoshifumi commits another card. He commits another Mighty Ball as well and misses again. So another unlucky miss. You don't. Okay, here's another thing: is do you rush Tachikaze or not? If you do not commit to a rush at grade 1, then you probably shouldn't commit a rush at grade 2, because you're going to commit cards here and then lose it all to Anger Blade the next turn, and then you're going to give your opponent like 5 damage, so he's just going to kill you and you can't heal at any point in the game. Likely with just this very half-assed attack, I guess, Shota will just take it all and then not really care, because he's just going to pop off next turn, hopefully, as long as he's got the Anger Blader. And yeah, he just goes straight to 3. Gets a draw. It's even better. Extra card, and I think he drew that Super Acro Canto, right? Like, so yeah, he's got another sweeper in his hand. He's got an Anger Blader. This is probably GG. His hand is nice and healthy. So we can just kind of speed it up here. And look, he's already planning out his master strategy on how to kill Yoshifumi. He's got 7 attacks coming up. 3 Counterblast. That means he's got a lot of Counterblast to work with. He only needs 1 for his Vanguard. And then these Xandophons, just getting equip gauges, giving power, giving 5k power to things. Pops it in, Bomb Raptor gets another card to retire. Yeah, so he's got another one. Yeah, he's got another Savage Trooper, right? That's pretty savage. Gonna just raw bio as well. 2 raw bios. So yeah, everything is just gonna hit massive now. Yeah, let's talk about this positioning a bit. He has a raw bio behind him, so everything has 3 equip gauge, at least 3 equip. You don't have to commit like everything, I guess. You just have to commit enough in this turn. 3 will restand everything, and with those 2 raw bios, everything is hitting big. So it's pretty much hitting unguardable. Even if Yoshifumi can guard it, he will have no hand next turn to do anything, and just die the turn afterwards. Putting the raw bio and not using it as an equip gauge is pretty decent, because this 12 will be boosted by an 8, hitting 20, and then with the Anger Blader's own effect will be hitting 25. So it's not really any good way to guard it for Yoshifumi, even if he gets a trigger. So you're just going to watch him. No trigger, no trigger. Yeah, it's pretty much GG. 4 more attacks, you're just dead. Alright, quick game 1. That's how Tachikaze is played. That is reality. Reality is unfair. And let's go to game 2. Skip the commentary. Not much commentary, I guess. It's just Tachikaze. This is how Tachikaze is in standard, especially when it gets to go first. All decks like to go first, but yes, Tachikaze is the premier going first deck that just destroys everything. So again, Yoshifumi, game 2. He's getting to go first now. Loser gets to choose. Both only mull 2, so that's indicating that they've got a pretty decent hand. Yeah, let's see what happens. Rides a Rising Phoenix. Rides Xandophon. Okay, so because of Laceratrex, you can put on pressure as Tachikaze early and not feel bad. Attacking with Vanguard first here means that you can kind of high roll in a way. Think about it this way. Your Xandalfon attacks, opponent guards. If you get a crit, your opponent kind of has to guard your Lysaretrex. And that's like a 2-card guard or a big guard, like a heal trigger guard. Or a crit trigger guard. But they basically lost 2 cards in their hand. And then next turn, if they've got something like a Cho, they don't have Counterblast. So they can't retire Lysaretrex, which is pretty good. If they do take the Vanguard, you have a chance to get a critical trigger. And that just goes from 2 damage, and then they still have to guard the last attack, which means you've kind of cashed in on that extra damage. But then if you just don't get anything, it's kind of just a wash at the same time. The only bad thing is that if they get a trigger here, they don't guard the last attack. So they've only guarded with 1 card less. So it's up to you. There are pros and cons for Reguard first or Vanguard first. But here we see Yoshifumi kind of do the same thing. This time, he did get a trigger on his attack, and he's played 2 Zuitans as well. So, he does have options with that Zuitan. He can put it in at the end of turn and just draw a card. So, pretty good. And gets a heal, and then opponent just takes both of it, because they actually doesn't really matter much. Tachikaze would rather probably take more damage early. He attacks the Zuitan. So, one thing about not retiring the Zuitan previous turn is Zuitan is a pretty juicy target. If it stays on the field, it gets fat, and then you can cash it in for a draw. So attacking it kind of is something people want to do, but at the same time, since you're against Tachikaze, if they attack into your Zuitan, it means less damage going to your face, which means less chance of you just randomly dying to Angle Blader, and you can still take a damage from the Lysaretrex boosted column if he really wants that counterblast. So we can see Yoshifumi rode Vanquisher. He rode a Jaggy, well, he's calling it a Jaggy shot. Okay, so let's stop it here for a sec. Vanquish's effect, the 10k effect, requires you to have bound 3 cards from either player's side of the field. With his opponent's setup though, he didn't get rushed, so there is nothing to really bind. It's not that easy to get the 3 binds. He's got the Jaggy shot will bind 1, and then there's a 1 card on the field, so that gets bound, so that's 2. And then how will you bind the 3? He needs like another Jaggy shot to just discard bind to get the 3, or he needs a Voltec Shred Dragon to bind. Otherwise, he's not hitting that 10k, but after you do that second attack, a second Voltec Shred or a second Jaggy shot, it's kind of really awkward, because your 10k comes in a bit later, so committing that field then to get maybe like an extra damage off, but then losing it next turn to an Anger Blader probably doesn't feel that great unless it is a Jaggy shot, because then you can at least cash it in for the draw. Here, you can play very conservative. Your Jaggy shot will go into Soul to draw, and then he's calling a Chatura, and then that Chatura will hit, and it'll push Shoda to a decent amount of damage, where the turn after that, you have a nice, sweet kill turn, and you haven't really committed much at all that you just straight up lose. Alright, so Jaggy shot takes it, a Vanguard takes it, and then takes damage and guards the Chatura attack. Now, goes into Anger Blader, only 1 card to retire, so if he commits too much this turn, it feels bad. What is he gonna do now? Okay, so he plays over the Anger, he plays an Anger Blader down over the Lysaretrex to probably get the card, because it's probably a good card in there. And then he plays a Bomb Raptor, Xandalfon, puts a gauge in. So he's gonna cash in the Anger Blader to get an extra gauge on that Bomb Raptor. So Bomb Raptor, it's the correct thing to do in a way. That Anger Blader will just hit for an extra attack, but because it has 3 gauge now, that Bomb Raptor can attack twice. So it's kind of the same thing, except Bomb Raptor has more gauge and slightly more power. I think it has, actually, that's probably way more power, right? So yeah, it's like 24, I think, at least. So it hits over triggers, which is pretty important. The Anger Blade itself would have probably only hit 17, so that's not enough. So that's about it. It's pushed him to 3. He has a kill shot next turn, as long as he survives the kill shot from Narukami now. But this is going to be a bit tough for Shoda, because he got 4 damage. So we can kind of probably slow it down here a bit. Yoshifumi rides the second Vanquisher, has 2 Excel circles, so he's able to make a big turn this turn, just that extra attack, that extra power gains. Does the Vanquisher bind, so he's triggered off the effect and got the hand bind too. He's bound a Vajan, and now it's called 2 Voltec Shreds, Phoenix, and a Cho, and they're all hitting with plus 10k power. So So okay, let's talk a bit more about this setup, right? Those 2 Voltec Shreds have the chance to make 2 more attacks. So that's the scary thing about Narukami is you see 5 attacks, but there's a potential for 7, so you still have to calculate that in. And this Choro makes another extra attack, so that's like 8 possible attacks, right? 6 to 8 possible attacks, right? Takes the Choro, and he gets a pretty important heal trigger here, because that means he's got now 1 extra damage to work with. He's on 4, and now he's still at 4, and he has 10k. Makes things easier to guard with. Vajan hits in, he's at 23, because, so now you kind of want to cash in that 23. That Voltec, one of the Voltec Shreds is not hitting already. It's hitting for only 19. And then again, another trigger. This is very lucky for the for Tachikaze. Draw trigger as well, so it's at 32. Now only Chituras are going to hit at all. Only Chituras are hitting. But he's able to make at least probably 2 more. If he has 2 more Chituras, he can at least get both of them off because of those 2 Voltec Shreds. So now the Vanguard is going to swing in. That's 22. And Shota has to really calculate. You can see there's 2 heal triggers in his hand. So he can technically guard this. But if he guards too much, that means he has not enough cards next to him to mount a big attack as well. So he has to be very, very careful about what he guards with. And he's probably just counting all the triggers, or asking everything. Yep, confirming. And he's got to make something here. He's got to make something happen because there is 2 more possible attacks that might hit. So he decides to no guard. This is basically a 1 to pass, so he needs 1 trigger. And let's see what happens. Trigger's blank, but if we saw carefully, there was a Chitura in one of those drive checks. So at least one of those Voltec Shreds are popping off. Soul Blast the Phoenix gets Chitura 33, and he guards of a heal. Alright? Now, we know he has 1 other heal in his hand. That means he definitely doesn't want to guard with any of his combo pieces next turn. And he has another heal in his hand. If he used that heal to guard the Vanguard, he would have had to start using combo pieces, and that's not what he wants. The second Voltec Shred attacks, does another Chitura, calls another Chitura, and again he has to drop the heal. And that is just perfect, just enough for him to guard all that. Now this is basically Tachikaze's last turn. Narukami has a kill shot next turn. Tachikaze have to make his kill shot this turn. His opponent's only at 3. That's kind of okay, but his hand is quite decent. So let's see what he can do. He's got a Smiley on. He's got some raw bios there as well. He drew that crit. So really doesn't have that much to work with. Basically has to consider his options. Looks like he's going to call a crit on one of the Excel circles, hitting 10. But will probably hit bigger just because he's got the raw bios. And Smiley on itself. Crit trigger down. Xandophon. It's got 2 Xandophons, so that's at least 2 equip gauges, and then Angelblade can suck those in for another 2 gauge. Gives 5k. The Smiley hitting 19 at least. It'll be like 19 and 24 so far. Just thinking about, still calculating. Combo decks, got to calculate in Solitaire properly. Yeah, so there we go, Xandophon again. That crit trigger is now 15k. And then I'm going to Angerblade to suck in something. Got a lot of nice juicy grade 2 targets. I'm going to pop both under the crit trigger. Raw bio on the crit trigger as well. So that raw bio is hitting... is like 35? It'll be 35 and 40. Raw bio into the... yeah. Raw bio, I guess, onto the Smiley. So yeah, both of those things are hitting for pretty big. It was 19 before, and now it's probably got like, what, 4 gauge or 3 gauge? So it's like 34, 39. So yeah, these are pretty tough to guard. You can probably take like 1 or 2 damage, and then maybe guard everything. And then like if he gets a trigger here, he can like no guard the Vanguard. Oh no, he can't. It's hitting for 25. So he's actually guarded. There's a 25k guard. So it takes the this one was bigger, yes. So now the Vanguard attacks. I think is that a no pass? 25, 32, 47. It looks like a no pass. So, gets a draw. Doesn't get any crits, so he can at least take 1 more and then guard the last one. So he probably can survive this one. Takes this one, gets a draw, which is amazing. Draws are always good on defense, and then nulls the last one. So this is pretty much Yoshifumi's game. He was able to actually just survive that last attack, kind of. actually had a third Vanquisher in his hand, so he's just now going to go ham. And yeah, it's not much Shota can do. 2 cards in hand. His stuff is all going to get bounded. And yeah, he had to buy another one from hand too. And yeah, just didn't just bash face and probably not cap. Even a Cho there, yeah, it's the game. So now it is the bad times. All right, it is back to Tachikaze going first, and he can probably win this pretty easily as long as he doesn't brick. And then justice will not be served. Sorry for all the Narukami players. Bad luck, you faced Tachikaze. You thought it was your turf. You thought Dragon Empire was your turf, but looks like Tachikaze is still showing who's boss ever since Raging Tactics. Let's speed it up. Commentators still talking about how crazy that game was, how good Tachikaze is. Will it get banned? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Maybe we'll talk about a ban list pretty soon, because it's coming up. And let you know my thoughts in a video, but I want to hear your thoughts too on what they should probably hit, maybe in standard. If you want to go to premium, sure. Okay, so here's something really cool. G-assist. But the good thing is that we can probably see Tachikaze's hand here. He G-assists on 1, and I think he does have the Angle Blader though, so that's the main thing you want to get. Angle Blader is a tough target. You're only on 4 grade 3s, and you don't have any of the grade 3 searches like the new clans. So 1 is probably one of the easiest ones to hit. Well, except for, yeah, it's probably one of the easier ones to hit, so it's okay. He has to get rid of 2, but as long as you got the Angle Blader, it's fine. Gets a raw bio, draws a card, and then Yoshifumi here, what does he do? So his opponent actually played a Lacertrex down first. That means he's got the Smiley on his hand. He's probably intending to ride that next. Puts it in the back so it can't get attacked. He just wants to make sure he has the equipped gauges and gives him more options. And Yoshifumi also G-assist, so this is actually just absolutely terrible. If he didn't have to G-assist, he might be in a slightly better position. Shota will have to be more considerate about what cards he has in hand because he had to G-assist. But because Yoshifumi also has to G-assist, they're now on evens, except Tachikaze is head because they're going first. So it means that Yoshifumi has 2 crits in his hand. He might have to at least get rid of one of them if he wants to not get rid of any of the other good cards in his hand. So it's pretty bad. It means like less guard. And then, yeah, he gets rid of 1 Zuitan and 1 crit. And, yeah, it's tough times. Tough times for Yoshifumi. He could have had a good position going into this game because his opponent had G-assist. But, yeah, now it's all even Stevens in terms of that. Now, you can move up his Lacertrex because... Did he move up? Wait, what? Did he... Did he move up the Lacertrex here before riding the Vanguard? Don't do that, guys. Japan is a lot more lenient in things that you can do, but in the West, slightly more stringent, I think. So don't do that. Rise of Smiley-Don. Well, I think there was a. They're gonna shuffle the deck because I think he screwed something up. I think he accidentally. Yeah. Did he put in the gauge? He put in the gauge, but before riding. So I guess. We can rewind, right? Heck, we can rewind. Okay, so draws. It moves it up, and then yeah, right, moves it up. Smiley-Don in, and then yeah, okay. I think some of his cards are upside down, so they're just shuffling the deck. But yeah, no, we just rewinded that. And we saw it again. Don't move up. Don't move up your grade 1 before riding grade 2, or you probably can't ride. So let's speed this part up again. He's doing for the cut, so I guess we don't need to. Lacertrex can still hit. Pretty nice, pretty decent. What is he thinking? What's his plan? His Smiley-Don does do 1 gauge, so maybe there is something he wants to put in. He's got a sweeper. Oh yeah, there we go. He's got a sweeper. Puts it in. So that means his sweeper at least next turn gets fat. Draws a card. Or gets fatter at least. There's no point putting in an extra equip gauge for the Lacertrex unless you want it to restand, but it doesn't really do much. Gets a draw off that. His opponent actually guards because he actually got a trigger then. Stays at 1, so that's alright. Cho retires Lacertrex, or binds Lacertrex, so he doesn't really get to cash in much there. He's not committing anything. Draw trigger, and then just 1 damage. So pretty average game, I guess. So Rise the Angle Beta. Here's what's been happening. Although Although both I think both players triggered draw trigger. The hand from the G assist has been, the kind of balances out the hand from the G assist. So both hands are kind of low, but this time the difference is Yoshifumi is at 1, so there is more chance of him living through a big turn from Tachikaze. And if Tachikaze loses the whole field, then they're just basically running out of steam. So technically, Shota does not need to commit much of a field here. Both players are low, so he technically has the initiative in slamming his opponent's face first. So he actually doesn't have to commit much. He just needs to make enough to push some damage onto the opponent. So let's speed it up a bit. A lot of the Laceratrix comes down. Keep in mind that cards that he plays down will get retired, or will get bound by Vanquishes. And Laceratrix hits in for 13. He's got a Mega Rex there that he can cash in the Laceratrix for. So it's not as bad as you think it is. He still needs a Cho to get rid of the Super Acro Canto, which is probably the most important card. So yeah, there we see he's cashed that in. Super Acro 24, and then it's for 12. Angle Blade hits for 12. See if he actually guards this. It's pretty annoying to guard, especially from the G assist from before. He still has a Super Acro Canto to take. So he's going for 1. So pretty risky. But you kind of got to take, maybe you got to take some risk in this game. He gets a heal. That's a pretty big heal too, because that puts him back down to 3. If he gets one more heal, he'll be able to, will be in an absolutely amazing position, to be honest. But going back down to 3 just gives him slightly more time. Rise the Vanquisher, which is good. And then what can he do? You can at least, can he get rid of the Super Acro Canto? So he can even attack into it. It's 24. If you can hit that number, it's fine. He can play a very conservative turn too, but he does have the Cho, so he gets rid of that Super. And looks like he's not committing much. He's just Soul Blast and then calls a Chitura, so he still makes a full field. Phoenixes are pretty good in this matchup. Even if they retire, he can still get it back. Looks like his opponent's just going to take a lot of damage. Gets a draw, which is pretty nice. I don't think 1, 2, yeah, so I don't think, no, you should have the 10k now. You should have the 10k now, so this thing is still, the Vanguard's still hitting, it's still 22. Guards with a null, gets another draw. This Chitura is going to, Chitura is around 28? It should be, yeah, or no, 38, probably 38. 18, yeah, 38. So hits, draws a card, nice, and then gets a crit, so that Cho gets denied. So one thing is that he just really wants to cash in that Chitura, attacks with Chitura first. If it hits, it gets a draw. Here you want to just conserve your hand, try and develop as much as you can. If you attack with like the Cho first, and his opponent didn't guard and get that crit, makes the Chitura really easy to guard, and then you don't get the draw, which is basically what you want to do. So he's basically just getting in that Chitura first. He doesn't really care about the extra damage he gives for the Cho, but he really wants that card because Tachikaze has a lot of juicy targets here to retire now, and he probably just wants to make his move now because he's putting it at 3, and he can probably try and push for game. Now, 1 sweeper, 2 sweeper. We'll reveal 2 sweeper at least. His hand looks pretty decent. There's a bunch of cards there, a bunch of combo cards that he can use to buff his field, I guess, or at least make a field. With 2 sweepers, not on the Excel circle. Looks like he's at least got something to put on those Excel circles that are half decent. So 2 more cards. Looks like he's committing 4 so far. He's got a Xandophon. Got to calculate your Solitaire. So yeah, so here we go. Mega Rex, two sweepers, and he's got a Smiley-Don, Xenophon. Just gonna speed it up a bit. There's 2 raw. He got 2 raw bios again. That's pretty crazy. Raw bio is making everything hit fat again, and this is gonna be big tough. Okay. So he doesn't have enough to make everything. Well, you can only restand 3. So maybe he does. So this, does he have enough? Okay, yeah. So he definitely has enough to make everything at least 3 cards restand. Retires Smiley-Don from the Mega Rex, and then everything will have 3 crypt gauge. So everything will restand. So tough turn for Yoshifumi. He's got to at least guard. Doesn't get a trigger there. Second super attack gets a draw, and then this last attack here is hitting pretty big. again, that Anger Blader is hitting, still hitting, thanks to the boost. So he doesn't really have much cards in his hand at all. Forced to guard there, and then probably, so 22, that's 37. Yeah, so he's guarded for 2. So gets a crit. It's pretty depressing for the Narukami player. Taking a crit on that. So he probably can guard, but he's basically got no cards left in his hand after this. So Narukami has to make some really scrappy plays. Yeah, there we go. So I think Narukami's at like 2 damage, but to be honest, Tachikaze really doesn't have much damage too. It's really going to devolve into a crit to win position. They're all counting, or at least he's counting triggers. 3 crits are gone. He has 5 crits, so there's 2 crits remaining in the deck. And yeah, just doing the normal calculation. Let's speed it up a bit. So there's only 1 card in Yoshifumi's hand. Okay, so he's played that 1 card out. It was a Mighty Bolt. He's just going to look through his deck and get rid of the 3 if he gets it. That means there is actually no way for him to get 10k, because his bind will only bind 2 from Vanquisher. What he's going to call back 2 Phoenixes, though, and those Phoenixes will be 11k. Now, 11k is better than 10k. Does it make a difference? Yes, it does, because the 10k on Vanquisher will make it at 22, but will only make Mighty Bolt hit 23. Now, with the Phoenixes, Vanquisher hits 23, which in this matchup doesn't matter, but the one that does is the 13 on 11. That hits 24, so that means it's hitting those sweepers. So if he doesn't get a crit, at least he can attack into a sweeper and kill one of them off. So the next turn, his opponent doesn't have any counterblast to do the Anger Blader restand. So although he's in a pretty terrible position right now, if he gets something like a heal, he might have a chance. If he gets a 6 damage heal, he might have a chance. So yeah, it all comes down to the crit to win, I guess. Good. Well, actually, Shota does have quite a decent amount of hand. So if he guards, he has no counterblast. If he doesn't guard, he's risking it on a crit. So yeah, here we go. Let's slow it down again. Shota's considering what to do. Does he want to take the risk? No. He nulls the Vanguard. And yeah, didn't get any triggers at all. So that thing is only hitting 24. He does go for the sweeper, and then intercepted via the Mega Rex to just keep the sweeper. So unlucky. Could have done better, but yeah. Now he just has to pray for his heal triggers to come. I don't think he has much left, but that's just how the creek crumbles. You probably guard this one, and then you just start taking. Doesn't get it, so yeah, it's dead. Unfortunate that Tachikaze went first, and they high rolled everything. Not much else to say, I guess. Game went pretty straightforward. Tachikaze did his thing. Interesting second game where Narukami went first, and you could see some of the more interesting plays there. But in the last situation, you just got to play to your best, even if the best was that 1k difference was kind of, you know, if you did get your heals, then you might have had a game there. But don't just think about your plays a bit more. Even if you're losing very badly, if you still have a 1% chance to win, go for that 1% chance. But yeah, congratulations to Shota for coming first in Standard and showing us that Tachikaze is a silly deck. Sorry to all the Tachikaze players, but I hate dinosaur names, man. I hate dinosaur names. And let's see what happens. Let us know in the comments about the ban list. That'll probably be the next video on probably Friday, where we'll announce the poetry contest winners, I guess. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think of the ban list, and see you in the next video. Bye!